And every day, what joined me there was a blue heron, and he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah?
there. He wasn't there the final day until about
Oh.
11 o'clock. And I looked over there. I was fishing a few other just isolated things. Looked over there, and he was back. And I went over there, and I started catching them again. It just cleared up just a little bit, but that's all it took.
And the blue heron showed you that.
Yeah.
You just touched on something. There was a tournament in Arizona. I'm going down the lake and I saw 3 blue heron on 3 points. And I'm going to way down. This is a Lake San Carlos in Arizona, Rick. And I think I did this in Angler's Quest. I wrote about this in your magazine, Angler's Quest, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is my early career. I'll tell the audience, though, I'm driving down the lake. I see 3 blue heron on 3 points in a row. And I was just in the zone at the time. And I was hell-bent on starting the tournament in the back of this river. But I see those 3 heron on those 3 points. And I turn the boat around and I pull in, and as soon as I got near the first point, that heron squawked and went to the 4th point. And then when I got to the other one, that heron squawked and went to the first point. So they're like, as I'm getting close to each heron, they're getting mad at me and they're going to the next point. But I realize they're committed to those 3 points. And Rick, I started catching the fire out of them, like just catching them. Those 3 heron sat with me, yelling at me every time I got close to them, but they would not leave those 4 points. And I went back and forth and back and forth, and I won that tournament. And this is where forward-facing sonar kind of hurts, because they'll never experience that heron that you had and those 3 heron that I had on that point, and how I danced with those birds all day long, catching the heck out of fish. They were my guides. They were the ones that showed me that there was a lot of bait there.
I don't mind the forward facing, but I do feel sad that those anglers that do that and only that will never really experience fishing.
Yeah.
Not in the complete way. And and in fact, now I know after studying it and going back and forth, and I've learned a lot from observing forward facing. I realize now that the best of us, me, Kevin Van Dam, whoever you want to put in that group, Roland Martin, the best of us were only fishing for 20% of the fish majority of the time. The other 80% was under our boat or behind us.
Right.
But now, if you give me a choice, okay, you can use forward facing or you can go back to the old way of only fishing for 20% of the fish in the lake. Which would you choose? I'd choose the 20% because I have so much fun catching those and like you just pointed out, learning so much from the natural world.
But, I was out just yesterday, I'm on Canyon Lake, and I'm fishing a grass flat. I'm throwing a swim bait. I'm throwing a couple other things, mixing it all up. And I'm watching an osprey, and he almost goes for it, and then he goes back up. And he almost goes
One
for
of
it.
my favorites.
Don't you? And I'm like, I'm watching, like, you stop fishing, you go, is he going to get one or not? And he's going to go, and he gets ready to dive, but no, he comes back up. And he goes a little further, he gets ready to dive. And I'm like, and to your point, if I was forward-facing sonar, I would have never watched that osprey eventually take a shot at one. But he was up there hovering around, and he was hell-bent on getting one, and it's cold, and it's nasty, and the water's off color. I'm like, if that son of a gun is going to pull a fish in the wind-blowing, dirty water, 58-degree water, that's amazing. And yet, again, that's a moment like all the other memories we have that if I go out there with that, and I love it. I mean, forward-facing sonar has some amazing potential. I get a kick out of watching that too, but I also like seeing that osprey, and I also like seeing those blue heron over there.
Yeah, I want to see the whole natural world. And you are even forward-facing. You're seeing the underwater natural world, so don't slight that, but you're not seeing the above-water natural world. And like we were fishing with Wyatt Marler this week in those 50-foot fish. Well, my favorite part was watching the loons around us because they were out there. They weren't on the bank. They were out there where all those fish were.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like on Golden Pond. Remember the loons, Norman, the loons. I'm dating myself. For all of you anglers, all of the viewers under 50, on Golden Pond was an old movie, but check it out.